Hi guys, this video is brought to you by Ace the CLAT, and it is the first video among a series of videos that are going to be rolled out for the reading comprehension of the UG CLAT. A playlist has already been made. Check if there is any update or not. Alright, in this video we would be talking about two things. We would be talking about the structure of the passage, and then in addition to that we would also be talking about the types of questions that have been asked in the sample paper or the final paper. So in the structure of the passage, we would be talking about a few things. The first thing would be the number of words that have been asked in each of the passages, or the overall generalized number of words that are expected to be present in each of the passages. The second thing would be the number of questions that have been asked in each of the passage. Alright, and finally we would also be talking about, in the structure of the passage section, the sources from which, or the types of passage the question setters pick out for framing the questions. Alright, in the types of questions we would be covering almost all the types of questions, including main idea questions, inference-based questions, vocab or grammar-based questions, further we would be talking about application-based questions, and finally we will also be talking about the specific detailed questions. We would be talking about the manner in which the questions are framed in each of the types of questions. Alright, and what significance or what meaning each of the types of questions have. Okay, so watch the video till the very end, and if you find the information useful, promise me that you will like the video and subscribe to our channel as well. Okay, let us get started. So to start, guys, for looking at the number of words, what I did was I picked up each of the passages from the sample papers and checked how much words did each of those passages contain. Alright, so the first sample paper had 6 passages, and look at the number of words. As you can see, it ranged from 320, if I'm not wrong, to 440 or 450. So in sample paper 1, the range of words in the passages was 320 to 440. Alright. Similarly, in sample paper 2, it was again 300 to 450. Right. It was again 300 to 450. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 passages. And I think there were 5 passages over here. 6 passages in sample paper 2, and the scenario in sample paper 3 was also like this. And the final CLAT paper, CLAT 2020 final paper, contained 5 passages and had all the various types of passages, from climate change to Times of India editorial to excerpts from a story or a book. Okay, in this as well you may find that the length of the passages varied from 300 to 460. Right, talking about the number of questions, each passage had close to 4 to 7, in the range of 4 to 7 questions. Okay. And the types of passages that were picked up were also very varied. Okay. It ranged from nationalism by Tagore to what it feels or what it is like to be a bat. Alright. So the passages in the sample paper and the final paper can be inferred to be very varied. Okay. Though you can identify that most of them were from either books, articles, or excerpts from a story. But still, the passages were from varied sources. Some were from newspaper articles, some were from a book, as I said, right? So to sum up, guys, the length of the passages would be 300 to 450 words, or the passage would contain 300 to 450 words. The number of questions will range from broadly from 5 to 6, and the types of passages are really varied. By the way, each of those passages contained minimum. Now that we have discussed the structure of the passages, we will discuss the types of questions. Alright. So the first type of question is main idea based question, which is found in 15 to 20% of cases. Alright. So in two passages, there would be at least one or sometimes two main idea based question. Okay, these are some of the ways in which a main idea question is framed. Alright, they can ask you what is the central idea being conveyed by the author in the passage. By the way, guys, all these questions have been taken from either the sample papers or the consortium's final paper, CLAT 2020 final paper. Alright, so they can ask you in the form of, like, they can frame the question in this form, like they can say, what is the central idea being conveyed by the author in the passage above? Other thing can be, what is the author's main point? है ना? Which of the following could be an appropriate title? This is a title based question, but a title, you would only be able to identify a title when you identify the summary or the main idea of the passage, right? This is another way. Which of the following best summarizes the main idea of the passage, or it can be which of the following best summarizes the passage. Alright, and this is yet another way. Best of the पूछ रहे हैं which of the following best sums up the author's main point in the passage above. Right, something other than this can be, what is the essence of the passage? Right. So these are some of the types in which this main idea question have been asked in the paper. Alright. So the correct answer of this kind of question is that particular option or that particular idea which all of the parts of the passage are supporting. Alright. It can be, suppose there are 2 or 3 paragraphs in a passage and there are in numerous sentences. So all the sentences, thereby all the paragraphs are supporting one main idea. Alright, one general idea that is being supported. When a good author writes a passage, he has some of his objectives in his mind. Right, कि मुझे passage इस कारण से लिखना है. Alright. And your job is to identify that particular main idea or that particular general idea. So it is a good idea, to ask yourself ki, what is the author's objective of the passage or author's objective in writing the passage. Right, author's objective क्या हो सकता है? You can ask ki, is he just reporting facts or making a proper argument by voicing out his opinions through his writings, right? So that's pretty much there in main idea type of questions. Let's go to inference-based questions. So talking about inference-based question, guys, inference-based का मतलब ही होता है कि what is the author suggesting, right? What is the author suggesting or what is the author's intended meaning? ठीक है, author ने कुछ बात कही, लड़का या लड़की किसी ने भी, author ने कुछ बात कही, उसे क्या हम लोग infer कर सकते हैं. All right, infer का मतलब ही होता है to deduce from. Think about it like syllogisms, guys. If you watched my syllogisms video, क्या होता है? All A or B. समझ author ने लिखा all A or B. Then he said like some B or some A or C. Now what can we infer from this? What is the author's intended meaning or unstated meaning, right, which is not explicit over here but it is implicit, right? All A or B जब मैं बोलूँ it's like this, right? All A or B and some A or C, अगर C ये हुआ then some A or C का मतलब क्या होगा guys? Some B or C, right? So from the above two statements we can infer this, right? So वैसे ही author ने जो ऊपर कहा है, what can you infer from his or her or statements, right? How the question setters frame this type of question, let us see. These all questions have been taken directly from the sample paper or the final paper, right? So keep that in mind. The first way is which of the following can be inferred from the passage above, right? Simple सी question है. Second is again which of the following can be rightly inferred from the passage, right? Simple है, right? Third is which of the following can be inferred as the reason why the author's father's family was happy to let Masi take the author away. See, ये एक inference question है but इस context से अपने को समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि अपन ने passage नहीं पढ़ा, right? But we can still understand, मतलब author क्या कहना चाह रहा है कि there has been an incident जिसने author के father author की मासी को author के साथ जाने को कहा, right? Which of the following can be inferred as the reason? मतलब authors ने कुछ उसमें circumstances दिए होंगे and उससे अपने को infer करना. We have to infer कि what can be the correct reason as to why the author did this. Author's father did this. Right. The fourth way is which of the following statements is the author most likely to agree with? Now this is another way. Author किस बात से, sorry for the disturbance, I was talking about which of the following statements is the author most likely to agree with, right? मतलब author ने कुछ बातें कही हैं, उस बात से अपन क्या infer कर सकते हैं कि उस बात से वो agree करेगा, all right? And the last type which I could find was which of the following can we infer about Thomas Bayes? So author ने Thomas Bayes के बारे में कुछ कहा होगा, right? And we need to identify कि उसकी personality type क्या है या फिर accordingly जैसा भी options हो. All right, I hope you are understanding this. Now you must have heard about this Bain options, all right, or the wrong option choices में, which is said by the question setter. You must have heard about this, guys, the Bain option choices, because many students find inference-based questions to be difficult, right? So the reason for that is the question setters use these options, broad, alien, narrow and extreme options, to get the students trapped, to get them mark the incorrect options. Alright, we will talk about this in a subsequent video, how the question setters create traps for the students or aspirants. Alright, acha, did you all notice this, that I read it incorrectly? Go back a few minutes and I said that which of the following can be rightly inferred, but it was cannot be rightly inferred. कुछ लोगों ने notice कर लिया होगा, it was apparent, but कुछ लोगों ने notice नहीं किया होगा, right? कई लोगों ने notice नहीं किया होगा. So the question setters, another way of trapping you guys is to create a tricky question or create a trick inside the question. All right. Negatives use करते हैं, कभी double negatives use करते हैं, right? इन बातों का ध्यान रख के चलना है अपने को, right? Inference questions में काफ़ी used होते हैं. All right, तो जैसा कि मैंने कहा, inference questions are implicit in nature or inference options are implicit in nature, right? Authors set few traps for you guys, which I'll talk about in a subsequent video, and obviously the statements or the options are not generally okay, so keep these things in mind. Moving on, we will be talking about vocab-based questions. All right, let's get straight there. Vocab-based or grammar-based. The first type of question is this. The word prehistoric, ये hyphen नहीं, ये dash type, hyphen underscore नहीं है, right? Okay. The word prehistoric implies which of the following? Okay. So word है, simple सी बात है, एक word दिया हुआ है, and we need to find the meaning of it, or mark the correct meaning of it. All right. The second type of question is, what does the word haircut as used in the passage mean? Right. Haircut की कई सारे definitions हो सकते हैं. Like haircut, जैसे haircut का क्या आया, कोई सिंपल सी वो बात है. Haircut की कुछ और definitions हो सकते हैं कि trim करना किसी चीज़ को. अगर if it is talking about funds, then when we haircut the funds, which means we reduce the funds. All right. इसीलिए यहाँ पे मेंशन किया as used in the passage. This is important, okay? This term as used in the passage is important because haircut में उस author question setter एक ऐसा भी option देगा जो simple haircut का मतलब होता हुआ. And then but that wouldn't be correct. All right, it would that particular option would be correct, which is true in the context of the, which is correct in the context of the passage. All right, these are the two types of questions. Grammar based भी देखेंगे अपन. Third one is choose the correct set of missing words indicated by 1 and 2 in the passage. Now यहाँ पे हो सकता है synonyms हो 1 and 2, antonyms हो, या फिर prepositions हो, या फिर pronouns हो. In short, या तो grammar based भी हो सकते हैं questions, vocab based भी हो सकते हैं. All right. The fourth type is what is the meaning of the expression shot in the arm as used in the passage? These all questions have been picked up from CLAT sample papers or the final paper, which means idioms पे भी importance दिया गया है. दो बहुत कम दिया गया है, लेकिन we cannot ignore idioms or phrases. All right. Basic understanding we must have about idioms and phrases. Fifth one is all the sentences in the passage above are grammatically correct in the context of the passage except, which means there would be 4 options, उसमें से 3 grammatically correct हैं, 1 incorrect है, and you have to choose that particular option. Okay, ये हो गया 5th तरह का questions. 6th, yet another type of question is which of the following? No, the passage has been adorned with numerous figure of speeches. Which of the following combinations is correct? Figure of speeches के ऊपर questions है. Right, Wren and Martin, figure of speeches is the way to go over here for this. This is not a strategy video, I'm just talking about the types of questions. Okay. तो मतलब फिगर ऑफ स्पीचेस पे भी इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है, ग्रामर पे इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है, वोकैबुलरी पे इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है. देयर हैज़ बीन इंपॉर्टेंस गिवन ऑन idioms and phrases as well. All right. So we have covered inference-based, main idea-based, vocab-based. The fourth one is application-based, and the last one is specific detail-based. And we'll also talk briefly about tone-based. All right. Let's get ahead. Application based. Application based, as clear from the meaning itself, you have to apply the knowledge of the passage that you gain from the passage into a different situation. It can be a hypothetical situation. You can be asked to derive a principle from the circumstances given in the passage. You can be asked to draw analogies from the passage. You can also be asked to, exemplify a principle that has been stated in the passage. Hypothetical में, let's see, do we have any question? No, we do not have any question. Let's say author ने एक कुछ बातें कही हैं, all right, a hypothetical situation would be, what if a particular situation would be given, this happens, what if this happens, and what would be the reaction of the author? All right, or simply what would be the reaction of the author if this, let's say this scheme was implemented by the government. समझ रहे हो? Hypothetically बोल रहा हूँ. Question can be, what would be the reaction of the author? What would be the reaction of the author to this scheme as per your knowledge based only on the passage? So that was a what if situation or a hypothetical situation. Another thing can be derive a principle from the passage. Let's see. Let's first read the manner in which questions have been framed. First one says, which of the following would be consistent with the author's description of the Swadeshi movement in the passage above? So, या तो यहाँ पे एनालॉजीज तुम बोल सकते हो कि ये एनालॉजी का क्वेश्चन है, या फिर हाइपोथेटिकल भी बोल सकते हो कि ऑप्शंस में हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन यू हैव बीन गिवन एंड यू हैव टू चूज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन that would be consistent with the author's description. Sorry for the interruption yet again. So where was I? Which of the following would be consistent with the author's description of the Swadeshi movement? इससे तुम analogy भी बोल सकते हो, hypothetical situation भी बोल सकते हो, right? Second is, according to the following, which of the following actions can be rightly justified by the opportunity cost principle? It is similar to this one, right? कि example दो. It is similar to this one कि right कि एक example दो जो opportunity cost principle as discussed in the passage उसे justify करता हो और exemplify करता हो. All right. The third type of his question is, which of the following is most similar analogy, right? Application based में analogy. Which of the following is most similar to the problem or question the author discusses in the passage above? Right, ये analogy based हो गया. The last one is based on the information in the passage above and only based on the information in the passage above. Which of the following can be ascribed to the publishers of philosophical transactions? Okay. Author ने एक इसे तुम inference की तरह भी treat कर सकते हो, लेकिन still application of the knowledge from the passage would be required, right? So application based में hypothetical होते हैं, you have to derive a principle sometimes, you have to draw analogies, or you have to exemplify the principle given in the passage as well. All right, I hope you get this. Let's move ahead. The last one is specific detail based. In layman's language, you can also call this as direct questions, right? Author questions that are direct facts, author passage के facts check करना हो तो ये specific detail based questions पूछा जाते हैं. All right, let's see. Why does this is not a good pen. Let's see. Why does the author suggest that the colonization of India was not undertaken by the British government? So author has given a reason inside the passage and you have to derive or you have to identify that particular reason. Right. Second is, why according to the author did her father treat her mother with contempt? ठीक है. Again, fact checking. Third, why does the author choose bats instead of mice, pigeons or whales to present the main problem in the passage? Again, he wants to identify a specific detail from the passage, right? And lastly, according to the author, which of the following have been put forward by historians as reasons? You have to identify the reasons why the EIC was able to gain success over its enemies in India in the 18th century. All right, you have to identify the reason. You have to identify some fact, है ना? In short, specific detail में यही होते हैं. And last but not the least, tone-based questions. A simple frame of this question is, what is the tone of the passage, right? What is the tone of the author in the passage? What is the tone used in the passage? It can be positive, negative, right? There are many different kinds of tones that can be used by the author. इसका मुझे 1 या 2 क्वेश्चन ही मिला पूरे सैम्पल पेपर में, ऑल राइट, या फिर फाइनल पेपर में. So to sum up guys, the structure of the passage as we try to infer would be 300 to 450 words, number of questions 4 to 7, number of paragraphs 2 to 4, types of passages varied, right, and types of questions main idea based, inference based, vocabulary or grammar based, application based, specific detail, tone भी देखा अपन ने, and miscellaneous, because the question setter is a human being. He can use his or her imagination to unknown limits, right? So miscellaneous questions भी आ सकते हैं. So thank you guys. I hope you found the information in this video useful. If you did, as promised, you will like the video and subscribe to our channel as well, right? If you have any queries regarding CLAT prep, mail us at acetheclat@gmail.com, or if you require one-on-one mentoring classes, you can contact us in that case as well. This is Ace the CLAT signing off.